Welcome, Doug. Come on in, have a seat.
So just sit here?
Yes. So you're our expert actor, huh?
Well, yes, I guess I am.
Who are you kidding? You're not an expert.
Do you want me with my glasses on or off?
I like the glasses.
Yeah, it's not too much glare.
Looks good.
Okay, good. I like it.
Okay, so Doug, we're gonna do a slate, quick slate. Just stay still.
Scene 1A, Doug Fahl interview, take 1.
Oh God, here we go. What am I doing here? You're not an expert. Who are you kidding? You're a fraud. You're an imposter. You don't belong here. You're faking. You're a 2-bit actor at loser. Why would they even ask you to do this? You're going to be exposed.
And action. What is imposter syndrome?
Well,
They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you.
I'm Doug Fahl with Augmented Actor. It's a YouTube channel. I guess you could say that I'm an influencer, online influencer.
Influencer. You only have 1,000 followers.
So imposter syndrome, whenever you start a new job or you're maybe starting a new show in rehearsals and you're expected to know stuff or be an expert in your field, and you have that nagging feeling that you don't belong here, that you're a fake or a fraud, that you're an imposter basically in the room, and that sooner or later something you say is going to trip up and screw everything up for you and people are going to realize that you're a fraud. Imposter syndrome can happen to anyone in any profession. Maybe you just started a new position and you don't really know how you're going to learn everything you need to learn for this position, right? Maybe you just got cast in a show as an actor and you're in a room full of people who are way more talented than you. All of those are examples of imposter syndrome.
And how many people are affected by it?
About 70% of people have experienced some sort of feeling of being an imposter or a fraud in a certain situation. I think every single person out there has experienced imposter syndrome at some point in their life, right? Am I right, Jennifer? And if you haven't, I call BS. Right, Jennifer? You see what I did there? Yeah, that's what we don't want to hear when you have imposter syndrome. You don't want to be called out, right, on what you don't know. Imposter syndrome is usually triggered by some sort of reward, a new job, a promotion, a graduation, passing of an exam, you receive an award, have a new baby. People who were raised in a very competitive environment or whose parents constantly push them to get straight A's and do well in school and stuff, those people are particularly prone to imposter syndrome. Perfectionists and high achievers tend to feel like imposters if they can't achieve 100% perfection in everything that they do. There's this little voice in their heads that keeps saying that they aren't good enough, that they have to do better.
You have to do better, Doug. You have to do better than this.
In performing arts, imposter syndrome runs rampant. Rampant. In almost every audition I go to, no matter how prepared I am, I tend to walk into the room and I see all the competition. All those people weren't in my brain when I walked in. And then I start having feelings of being a fraud creep into my consciousness. And I start comparing my abilities to other people in the room. And I start talking myself out of the idea that I can actually be considered an equal to these people. Except for Kevin. I can beat him. And then when you're not cast, you confirm all the doubts you had. They saw right through me, right? And we carry these beliefs forward from audition to audition, and it can really strike a blow to your confidence. And then when you're lucky enough to be cast in a show, you wonder if they somehow made a mistake, or maybe you were the third or fourth alternate and the director didn't really want you. You're just not going to be good enough for the role, and everyone is going to find out your weaknesses. In fact, people with imposter syndrome consider any small success just a matter of luck or chance, or it's a mistake. We are pulled out of our comfort zone into a new area or a challenge. It's how we respond to imposter syndrome that makes or breaks us. You will either fail miserably and be exposed as the fraud you are, or you will rise to the occasion and you will become more of an expert. So how do we combat this universal feeling, and how should we use it to help us achieve greater success? Well, that's why I'm here today. Well, let's face it, no matter how much somebody else thinks you're brilliant, you might think that you're average. And you know what? You probably are. Because everyone is average at most things. An expert at elephant husbandry is going to be a novice at basic gardening, right? So embrace your basicness. Embrace your averageness. Realize that nobody is perfect and that everyone makes mistakes. And if you're going to compare yourself to others, compare the mistakes and the fumbles of others as much as you compare the breakthroughs and the talents. When you embrace your averageness, you give yourself more room to explore. And you don't hold yourself to the standards of perfectionism that are in your brain. You're more easily able to admit to your mistakes and laugh off your failed attempts. And by doing so, you create an environment of being human around your colleagues, right? By being average, you ensure that there's always someone under you who looks up to you for advice and support, and that there is always somebody above you that you can strive to be more like. If you've been cast or hired or asked to speak at an event as an expert, realize that others believe you are an expert. You may think that your knowledge of a particular subject is limited and that you have nothing of value to add to the conversation or job, but we don't always give ourselves enough credit for the knowledge we do have. Just because some other people may know more on a subject than you do, it doesn't mean that you don't have expert level information to share. So embrace being an expert and treat yourself as such. And also admit when you don't know an answer to something, because experts don't always have all the answers, and they aren't afraid to tell people that they don't know. So remember that. Perfectionism is impossible. I am a perfectionist who constantly has to settle for less than perfection in everything I do. Nothing is perfect, right? Being a perfectionist often leads to never finishing project, not making your deadlines, not feeling satisfied with your work, and sometimes never starting your work in the first place, because if something feels impossible, why even bother? You have to tell yourself that good enough is good enough. In acting and in the performing arts, you can achieve quality, but you will never deliver a perfect performance, ever. And neither will anyone else. Strive for 90% or 95% perfect, and you'll be golden. And then you gotta learn at times to say, time's up, pencils down, it's now or never, it's curtain time, on with the show, it is what it is, you know? So I always strive to say that I have done my best with the constraints I was given, and I'm happy with what I've accomplished. You've heard the phrase, fake it till you make it, right?
I haven't, I don't know.
No?
I'm not sure I have.
You've never heard fake it until you make it?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. Is that an old person thing? Anyway, there's this phrase, fake it till you make it. And this really rings true of many people with imposter syndrome. Imposters are like spies or undercover cops. And those people, the number one rule is don't blow your cover, because that can screw up lots of things, right? So they're under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress not to blow their cover. And that's what imposter syndrome puts you in, that anxiety state of every little word, it could blow your cover. So you never want to blow your cover. By adopting the attitude that you are faking, you will work harder behind the scenes to make it seem like you aren't faking. You can work under the hood to drive yourself forward and make improvements. By admitting that you're not infallible actually helps you improve. And often the more you fake it, by not giving up, the more of an expert you become in the eyes of others. It's kind of that weird thing. And by not giving up, I mean putting your best foot forward, doing your homework and research, being prepared for each step as it happens and not thinking too far ahead, asking for outside advice, going to an expert or using the internet. And I think most importantly, using your common sense and your own life experiences to produce the necessary answers that are being asked of you. If you're an actor and you aren't occasionally experiencing deep imposter syndrome, then you're not advancing. You're not improving yourself. You're playing things safe. If you walk into a rehearsal room and you aren't experiencing any sort of doubt or trepidation about your abilities, then the work you're doing will be mediocre. It will feel beneath you. You aren't challenging yourself. So I say, be scared and force yourself to take on projects or auditions that scare the hell out of you. do make you feel like an imposter, because that is the quickest way to gain expertise and new knowledge and new skills and expand your talents. If something in this career path feels comfortable to you, then you need to step up your game.
And how do you respond to your critics, the people who doubt you?
Screw everyone else. There will always be people who don't like us and who don't want us to succeed and who don't believe we deserve to be here. Quoting RuPaul again, what other people think of us is not our concern. So it doesn't matter what other people think. Usually those kind of attitudes from other people stem from envy or jealousy or comparing you to somebody else that they don't like. You don't need to add your own negative voice into the mix of other doubters out there, right? So turn that part of your brain off. You have to dismiss the negative energy brought on by others. If you got the job, you got the job. You only need to concentrate on the job. If you're an expert, play the expert. If you got the role, you got the role. It's yours to play regardless of what the critics think. So play it. That imposter voice constantly magnifies your weaknesses and downplays your successes. That's why it's important to take some time to acknowledge each achievement. Did you finally nail that new piece of choreography you've been working on and struggling with? Well, give someone a high five. Did you do a little research on Scrum so that you can finally understand that task board at your new tech job? Well, take yourself out for lunch. Believe what others tell you when they tell you how much you helped them or how much your performance affected them, and thank them and show them gratitude and appreciation. Talking to others helps. Revealing your self-doubts can be illuminating. A therapist can give you the tools to smack the hell out of that inner voice and make it become a more positive role model. But therapy is expensive. So if you can't afford a therapist, vent. Pick a colleague, somebody that you trust, and vent about it. Let them know that you're struggling, because you'll realize that you're not necessarily alone. You'll also reveal to yourself that others actually learn from you how to behave. So I would not keep those feelings bottled up. Sometimes admitting that you feel in over your head can have a great sense of relief and can actually lower the expectations of others a little bit, which is good. And it gives you more of an opportunity to impress them later on when you rise to the occasion.
Do you ever feel like an imposter, Doug?
Yes, I feel like an imposter right now. Every time I sit down in front of the camera or every time I release a video, I feel like I'm going to get all these negative comments that people are going to think that I'm not really offering them anything interesting or useful. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm an average actor, right? I'm a big fish in some rooms. I'm a small fry in others. I've had over 40 years of acting experience that is my own, and I learned a lot from it. And so just by sharing that, I become an expert to some people in the acting field. I am not the best actor you will meet. I am not the best singer or dancer or director. I know I am not the best, and I don't purport to be. I'm average. But that doesn't mean I'm not without value to some people out there. I offer up advice that sometimes I think is common knowledge, but some of you watching out there have never heard of this advice. And so I become an expert in your mind. And others are saying, I already know that. That's basic. I didn't need to watch that. And to those people, I say, that's fine. It's fine. You can go get your YouTube channel and do things your way, and there's room for all of us to be experts in this field. I'm not the only expert, right? But I am actually the one here doing my own experting. So leave me the hell alone, right? That's what I say in my mind. I don't think anybody's really out there. But doubts creep in, and I have to keep saying that I am doing the work. I am researching what I say. I am learning new things and sharing them with people who might not know about those things. I'm also reminding those experienced people out there about something that they might have learned and have forgotten, or I'm giving them a different perspective on it, or I'm at least showing them that there's other actors out there that feel the same way that they do. I embrace my imposterness. I am a fraud. I am an imposter. But I am an expert at being an imposter. And I'm damn good at it. I think.
Well, thank you for your time, Doug.
Oh, great. That was, yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking. Did I sound okay?
Yes. No, you did great.
Good.
Maybe you're not so bad after all. You have to do better, Doug.